which I do not want to change it into a very wordy, very, I don't want it to die.
I understand. So I think that well done, first of all, on where you've got to so far. I was looking, and you sound like you have, and it's obviously demonstrated that you've done a lot of this off your own graft, your own work, the photos, putting the blog together, producing, of course, the recipe. So that's really great. And from my perspective,
I did work with someone to put together the blog, but
yeah, understood.
And then I have this one assistant who spends maybe 3-4 hours, and then she's basically she's like, this is something on site she does. She basically proofreads all my work, and then I just dump it on her, and then she puts it on the website.
Got it.
But that's all she's doing. She's not really putting any technical spin on it, technical input into it. She's basically just like someone like who just proofreads everything and then puts it on.
Yeah.
She's not doing anything beyond that.
I understand. Well, hey, listen, to come to the point, I think that if I was involved on, the vegetarian journey and the journey with you, looking at the website, and then also, from my perspective in terms of how I can add value, the SEO piece, which is how can we bring more visitors to your website, the right kinds of visitors who are interested in your content. I don't suggest that you need to reinvent the wheel. I don't think you need to suddenly start producing 2,000 word pieces. One, it's not realistic because it's a huge time burden. And then two, I definitely agree that a lot of people today are focused on, I want the information and I want it now. Tell me the recipe. And what you do is very well set up for that. So I do understand. And I think that it's reflected in some of the rankings that you have got. I was looking just online to have a check, and broccoli and carrot soup you rank 7 for. Mustard leaf sag you rank 5 for. Spinach mustard greens.
And where are you looking at that?
So I used a tool called SEMrush or SEMrush.
SEMrush, yeah. I haven't looked at it. I was just reading about it yesterday.
Yeah.
And
so that's great. So it's exactly what I mean. So that's kind of the tool that most SEOs, including myself, will start with, and we'll use that as the first initial reference point to say, well, where are you ranking? What are you ranking for? Which keywords are important to you? And really, to be honest with you, using that as an initial base, I would then put together a plan of attack for you based upon, these keywords that you might deem to be commercially relevant. And we could use that as a basis to understand, well, what is going to move the needle. And that's where, my work comes in terms of building links to particular pages that talk about a particular recipe, where it's baked semolina, broccoli carrot soup. So there's the off the things that we do off your website, and then there's also the things that we'll fix on your website. So that's, and every website has some range of problems. Maybe it's page load, maybe it's metadata, maybe it's title tags, maybe it's the sitemap. Maybe there's a range of things, right? I've not looked at your site yet, but they always problems. No, because I wasn't thinking
when we did the website, I wasn't thinking along those lines.
Of course. Why would you? You're focused on building a beautiful website that functions really well for your users, and you've done that, which is why it already does rank well.
What I am doing on the website right now is I am putting up a comment box on every recipe. Just so that people can comment and rate it, because now I have people coming back and saying, oh, we would love to comment on the recipe, but except there's, so
Understood.
Anyways.
No, I understand. I agree. So the way that, I would potentially work with you is to do those two pieces and then get you a result, hopefully, I believe, that will lead to more and more people finding you. And then more and more opportunities arise, of course, as a consequence. So that would be my involvement.
And when you were saying like linking to outside stuff, like do you
should we talk you through it a little bit?
Yeah, do you mind? And then also what the process entails. Sure. Do you put together a strategy? Do you educate us on how to do this, or is this and is your job kind of in and out, whatever that period is, or is it just that you can stay on with us for a long time? Like, how does that work? I just don't know how it works.
Absolutely. So, education is there. If you want to learn how to do everything yourself, I mean, it's what you're already doing. There's a combination of blogs and there's a combination of things you can read about. To be honest with you, it's really a question of just time. What should your focus be on, and where is your kind of intellect best used? And that's a question that, of course, is one only you can answer.
Right.
If you want to work with someone who will work with you on a continual basis, will continue to push certain keywords up for you, and then once they get to perhaps a certain level, we want to maintain them as well as start working on some others. If you want someone who says, Deepak, you know what, I'm too busy to think about every little thing, but I've got a resource who can do some of the little bits, give them a to-do list, because I want them to do work intentionally, then that's where my value will come in terms of my continual work with you. If you want to obviously do a project and then be like, Deepak, I want to just do one thing and I want to fix it, you'll get a result. You won't become the best dancer in a ballet, but you'll become a dancer. So it's really also a question of where do you want to take this? And I'm guessing we're here because you're thinking about hiring someone and not maybe I'm going to do it myself, or because you've got quite a lot of ambitions. This started as a hobby, but it sounds like this is what, I mean, I look at this and I see love when I look at it. This is something.
Yeah, it is out of love. Yeah.
See, this is the first time you smiled in the whole conversation. So listen, I know that this is your baby. I would love to work on kind of bringing the baby all the way into the playground. I don't hide anything from you. We can walk through the entire process of building links, what links are important, what types of links, and how that process works. I can definitely do all of those things for you. And you know, my personal end goal is whether we work together for, 4 weeks, or whether we work together for 44 weeks, I leave Vegetarian and you ultimately in a much better position than when you started working with me. And that's kind of my end goal.
Okay. Sounds good.
If you like,
go ahead.
Should
I be asking, obviously, like how do you charge and how much do you charge?
Sure.
Yes. Have you worked with food bloggers before?
You know what? I have worked with bloggers. I have not worked with food. Well, so I've worked with bloggers, but I've not worked with food bloggers in terms of doing SEO. I have done conversations and consulting, but I wish I would meet someone like you. Someone who wants to, for example, work and look at this as a professional occupation. Because the reality is that 90% of your competitors aren't doing SEO as looking at it as something that's, which means that we can do some really good work in a manner that's going to get you a result easier, because a lot of your competition aren't thinking about SEO and profiles and citations and directory listings and sponsored guest posts and looking
most people do it themselves, and that's why it's like a little bit of an issue for me. Like, should I just invest? But I also feel like my time best spent is in creativity, not the technical aspects of things. And I want to continue to, like, I don't want to get bogged down by the technical aspects of things. I want to keep that creative streak in me. But also, that being said, I'm not making a lot of money on this. Mm-hmm. The goal is to take it, I'm making some money on my consulting work. But the goal is to kind of then work with brands and become an influencer. And get paid that way, because that way I can keep my creative streak with me and move forward. So, okay, so next steps from here, like how much do you charge? How do you charge?
Mm-hmm. So in terms of pricing, we go from $2,000 a month and we go up to $5,000 a month.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't suggest that you spend $5,000 a month. I don't think that you need to. I do think that if we work together, I'm going to be honest, because I just want to be transparent with you and not kind of. Yeah. So if you have a $6,000 budget to spend with me, because then you can determine ROI. If you don't have that, don't work with me, because I do think that you'll spend your money better in other places. That's the first thing that I'll be honest with you about. The second thing that I'll say is that I also promise you that I am worth the money, that I think that you are on a journey where you want to have that smile every day with this business, and I believe I can get you there. The third reason is, why do I think I can get you there? It's because I also practice what I preach. I've got a lot of videos online, hundreds. We are doing SEO on our own website. We've won awards and we've got clients that we work with that are getting great returns. And I would honestly tell you that it really just depends how fast you want to get your result. I will help you get there probably a lot faster than either doing it internally or working with someone who will really spend a lot of focus talking to you about, we're going to rank you on page 1 for Google, here are the keywords, and take a very process-driven approach. SEO is also a creative endeavor, and there's also process-driven components of it. We can, my team and I can do both of those things, and my end goal is that you reach your commercial result, which is, I imagine, in a year, Deepak, I'm getting bigger brands wanting to work with me. I'm getting more and more inquiries, and that's kind of what I want to do for you.
So how quickly do you start seeing the results?
Within 6 to 8 weeks, you'll start seeing good work happening.
And what does it entail? What is your process like? I guess your process is, like, how much time are you spending on a monthly basis on something like this? Now that you've looked at the site, and what do you think? How much time are you spending on it?
Sure. Anything from 15 up to 30 hours a month.
Okay.
In terms of what then we do, so initially what will happen is I will take a tool like SEMrush. We've got 200 keywords that it gives us, right? I'll also request, assuming you're like, Deepak, I trust you, let's start. What are we doing? I'll request Google Analytics access. I'll request Google Search Console access. I will combine the data that I find in Google Analytics as well as Google Search Console to understand what are the keywords that are performing well as against something that I can find, and then I'll then begin changing some of your technical infrastructure. So you're an e-commerce, you're a blogging website, but you have a lot of kind of pages that are set up for example, ingredients and recipes. So I'll begin looking at a lot of the kind of technical infrastructure of your site. So one of the common issues with a site like yours is that the HTML text ratio sometimes is a little bit kind of askew. So Google interprets that as that sometimes as being, you have too much HTML. So we'll look at issues that relate to code. I'll also look at, once we've defined the keywords, what are the appropriate sets of metadata as in relation to the keywords. I'll also then look at page speed. Is your page loading fast? Not just is your website loading fast, but individual page speed is a big thing. You might have a great loading website. Like, for example, our site has a page load of like 7 seconds, which isn't that great, right? But we've got one page that takes 33 seconds to load, and it brings down the entire average. So that's part of the kind of discovery. So we'll begin fixing as many problems as we can. And in parallel, we begin off-site building some of your branded network. So what I mean by branded network is that from Google's perspective, Vegetarian is here and you're around and it's great, but we want to show Google that you're a company that's here to stay. And the way that Google identifies that is, what does your branded network look like? So branded network really is profiles that relate to your brand. So that is, we'll create within the first 12 weeks, because that's the amount of time it takes, 86 different social media profiles on 86 different platforms with the individual content written in terms of the descriptions. We'll have keyword focus, and we'll also begin linking all of these profiles together. So we're talking.
So when you're saying 86 different social media profiles, I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. Like, do you put a recipe out there to?
No, what we're going to do is build your domain reputation. So basically, that's the reputation of Vegetarian out in. So it's like building the brand. The domain is the domain has a reputation. That's kind of what Google conceives as your brand, and we will build you a blogger, a Tumblr, a Gravatar, an About Me, a Digit, there's more. There's Amazon.me, there's About.me. There's all of these companies, or rather websites, that have good domain reputation that Google recognizes, that we'll build profiles for, to then reflect to Google that, okay, this is a company that's here to stay. And we'll do that. This is one piece of what we do, right? Right. And this is one of really just a series of things that we'll do. in terms of building everything off page to get the commercial result for you, and building links to particular pages that we want to give focus to in terms of keywords. So we decide the keywords, we built. Sorry, go ahead. You've got questions, it sounds like, in your mind.
Well, what I'm wondering is what happens after 3 months. If I say, okay, let's take a break after 3 months, do I still continue to grow and those things still exist? I'm assuming.
Yeah. No.
And then say, okay, let's take a break. We're on for 3 months. Let's take a break for 3 months, and then we're on for 3 months again. Does that?
It will work. It will work, but it will work definitely. It's, however, no different to Deepak. I want to run a 5-minute mile. Let's train for 6 weeks, and then let's take 2 weeks off.
Right.
So I'll say you're still...
and I'm a runner, so I see it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we can do that, and you could absolutely do that. It'll just take you longer to get to your result. And then also the market might change, competitors come up, suddenly Usain Bolt appears out from nowhere, and then you're like, bloody hell, Usain Bolt wasn't around when we made our plan, so what do we do? So all of these things start to happen.
Okay. Are you flexible on pricing?
What were you thinking?
Because I'm not making money right now.
It's okay.
I'm a little reluctant on pricing a little bit. So why don't you think about how flexible you are? I mean, I think I can see us working together, but I just because I'm not making money, but I do see that I have to invest in it in order for me to make money in future.
Yeah.
So if you think about...
I'm thinking about it right now, because you seem straightforward, and I like what you're trying to do. Honestly, I do. I think of my sisters with some of the meals they try and introduce me to, and I'm like, this is cool, and we giggle about it. So when I saw the blog anyway, I was like, oh, cool, this is kind of close to home. So I guess my point is when do you want to, is this something deeper, all things being well, I want to start tomorrow, or is this a...
I think, so I have a really busy March right now. I'm just traveling a little bit in March for work and for personal reasons.
Yep.
So I was thinking we will start April 1st.
Okay.
If I was to start this would be kind of like my April 1st project.
Okay.
And then I would definitely, commit for April for 3 months, and then we'll go from there. But I just don't want to jump into something when I know I don't have the time to put in.
No, I understand.
And just I'm traveling a little bit, quite a bit actually, the month of March.
Okay, I understand.
So I'm setting up so that the blog just gets feeded and the Instagram gets feeded, but I'm not going to be around as much.
Would it help you to know that I don't actually need you for the first 30 days anyway? I will send you reports.
You won't have access to me. I just won't be as, I won't be able to get on the phone as quickly. Will that be helpful? Yeah, I think that would be helpful. I'm definitely, till March 15th, I'm in and out quite a bit. And then after March 15th, it's a little harder because of the time zones and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you think that it will be helpful to get started earlier, I'm happy to start earlier. I'm happy to say, let's do March 1st. I'm happy to do that. Yeah, that should be. I mean, that was my other question. How much information, what will you be needing from me?
Sure. I don't need, so I have worked on websites where the business owner says, I'm not going to be around, or can you still get the result? So that's an environment I'm used to working in. And the truth is that the literal truth is you've got a very content-driven site because, of course, it's a food blog. The typical problem that a business has is that they don't have any content, or they've got a 2-page website. You don't have that problem, which is beautiful for me. So what that means is that I have almost a lot of assets that I can work with to build links towards, which is great. So listen, I'm being really honest, Shika. I could start tomorrow. The information that I need from you to start will take you 15 minutes to give to me.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess with that in mind, then what? Just be honest with me. What is the price point closest to 2,000 that you can comfortably commit to for 12 weeks? Because I also don't want you to ask me after 5 days, "Oh, Deepak, have we got a result?" Because I want you to be comfortable. What could you live with comfortably and be happy and?
Well, I don't know how much time it takes. I'm totally new to this industry.
Oh, I understand.
So I don't understand. You are in the industry. You know how this works.
Trust me, I understand all of that, and I know that you've probably got 53 responses on Upwork, and
yeah,
and there's so much reading
and
you
there's
can do.
the price ranges all over, and some of them I can just tell the quality is just not as good.
I understand what you're saying, and a lot of that makes sense. I guess what I think you should trust in most is that I care, and that I'm not someone who's looking to seal a deal and then do something that's very process-driven and then say, oh, that didn't work. Oh, well. I would keep working with you if I'm feeling that we're not getting the result, and I'd be like, don't worry about the money.
I'm just being honest and straightforward. I'm thinking, let's start at, and this might sound, you can just say, Shika, just back off. I'm thinking, let's start like for the first 3 months, let's do it at 1,000 a month and see where it goes. And then like we can reassess after 3 months. And I don't know if it's doable. I don't even know what the market rate for something like this is, Maybe I should do my research.
Well, the market rate is a difficult thing, right? It's like, what are a pair of jeans worth? Are they worth $5 or are they worth $500? It depends who you talk to. It depends, So I understand that. Listen.
Why don't you think about it? You don't have to give me an answer right now.
I'm thinking about it. We're here, and I have your attention, and you have mine, and I'm looking at your site right now, and I've been looking at your keywords. I'm thinking about it most right now, so for me it makes sense to just hash it out. Yeah. Okay. Could you do 1250? Because I couldn't do 1,000. I could make 1250 work.
Okay. Fair enough.
Brilliant. Could we then also do all of the admin today? I will request Google Analytics access. I'll request Google Search Console access. The back end of your website. It's very. You probably already know how to do these things.
Just send me a list of everything you need. Just send me an email from my. You see my email right there. Info at it's either info or Shika at Google at vegetarian.com. And later today I can send you all the information.
Brilliant, perfect. So listen. I will also send you... Okay, perfect. So I'll send you the details across, like now, and I'll also send you the billing details. Are you happy to set the billing up today as well?
I'll set it up on Upwork, right?
Are you happy for us to go direct? Upwork take 20%, and that's something that I prefer not to deal with. Is that okay for you?
Only if we... Then it'll be billed only monthly.
Yeah. So it's billed monthly. So what I'm going to do, just to be transparent, is that I can, for example...
Or you can bill it every 15 days. That might be just much better for you.
Well, no, it's okay. What I'm going to do is I'll send you a billing link. I mean, I can send it to you right now, to be honest with you. And the request for things that I need from you, I've got a pre-written template. It's
right. I figured, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I can send all of it across to you like right now. And the billing basically is like $12.50 a month, and it's an automated billing system with a 3 month. At the end of 3 months, it just stops. And that's what I'll send to you. Does that work for you?
That sounds good, yeah.
Perfect. So if you just hang fire, I'll send you the details right now, just because I want to make sure that all of it makes sense for you, and that you kind of like, okay, Deepak, all of that makes sense. I've got 2 emails for you. I've got the one on your website, and I've also got your Gmail, I think, because that was... Which one do you prefer, or does it matter?
Info at vegetarian.com is probably the best one.
Okay, brilliant. Let me just see. Perfect. That's on your website, isn't it? You said, didn't you? Yeah, I've got it. Okay, brilliant. So, I didn't check your website. Is it on? Is it on WordPress?
It's on WordPress. Yes.
Yeah. No, I thought so. I remember. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. How did you come up with the name, by the way?
The year I was training for the New York City Marathon.
You're a marathon runner.
Long runs will do that to you.
Yeah, okay.
You've heard so much music, you've heard so much, and I don't like listening to podcasts, and there are sometimes that I just turn off the music.
Yep.
And I like zone off in my long runs.
Yep. Oh, that sounds awesome. That sounds like, you're smiling again. This is the second biggest time I've seen you smile on the call.
Yeah. No, so that's how I came up with the name. Like after my long runs, I would write down everything that would come in my head at that, 18-mile mark. You know,
the dreaded 18-mile mark when a lot of people hit the wall. Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Oh, wow, that sounds great. Running is something, another thing I guess we've got in common.
You run?
I do. I run a little bit. I have not run the New York City Marathon though. I'll tell you that.
Oh, so I trained for this one and I did not run. This was the one. There's only in the history of New York City only one marathon that got canceled, and that was this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
And that's the only one I trained for, and then I ran.
Okay.
And I did not run. Sorry. But other than that, I've done a lot of half marathons.
Ah, perfect. It's impressive. I've just sent you.
These days I'm not running too much.
Sorry, say again.
These days I'm running like maybe 7 miles a week.
It's still probably 7 miles more than a lot of people. It's put it this way: it is 7 miles more than my sister. So I'll give you that much.
Yeah.
So I've just sent you both it on email as well as Skype.
Let me just make sure.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that you got it.
Yeah. Let's see. Google Search Console, which I haven't set up, but I will look up. Google Analytics I have that I will give access to you. CMS,
That's just WordPress. Yeah. Brilliant.
I will give that. And your cPanel. Yeah, I have all of that.
Yeah, perfect. I figured. I just wanted to be sure. And then the first link is the payment link. Hopefully that works as well. Does that work? Hope it does.
Link to invoice. Okay, yeah.
Brilliant.
Per limit. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I will probably not get to it till later today because by the end of it'll be done by the end of the day. Is that okay?
It is okay. It's very okay.
End of the day Eastern Standard Time because I have to run right now, but it'll be done by the end of the day Eastern Standard Time. Yeah.
Literally 7 miles. Are you going to run right now?
You're funny. You're funny. All right, wonderful. Well, this is exciting. I'm glad this is going to work out.
So am I. Listen, I'm honestly.
I'm looking forward to results.
Yes, absolutely. Very, very Indian of you. I'm the same. I'm also looking forward to sending you results.
Yeah, I want results, and I just want this to get going. You know.
Yeah. Understood. Completely understood. Listen, I'm on board. The end of the day Eastern Standard Time sounds great for me. As soon as I've got everything, you will be hearing from me.
Okay, sounds good. And then this is your email address? Oh, I have your email address. Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Deepak.
Thank you. All right.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Bye.